I'm listening to myself. Hey, how you guys doing? So yeah, well, grab your coffee because today we have a lots of good news and information, and you don't want to miss that. You need a clear mind, and that's why I use my coffee. Of course, you can have tea too, but make sure your dog has some water and something to chew on so it doesn't come and bother you while you're doing your work. So, first of all, the good news. Finally, I got my oops poops together after doing the renovation in the house, and I put together a class. So next, let me actually pull it up for you so you're not missing anything. So 5 tasks to help your dog break free from aggression through a secure attachment based. Okay? So Saturday, March 13, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to bring everything up, help you already start troubleshooting your situations that you have in your household, understanding how aggression is based on how it functions, what's the dynamic behind that, because many people just call it aggression. It's aggression, whatever they don't make sense of. And they treat their dog accordingly to their belief system, what that exactly is, what the dog is doing, actually doing more damage than good. Because usually aggression is misinterpreted as something the dog does it on purpose, but actually most of the times it's fear-based and something that's very easily to be addressed without using force or punishment. Now, how do you get to that class? Super simple. You go to holisticdogtraining.org/events and sign up for that class. It's ridiculous easy to do that. So, however, because I know you guys want to have like a little bit more hands-on work, I'm going to show it to you. So let me try that. Okay, sharing screen, application window. Oh, you go. Good. Here we go. Ta-da! So here you are on my website. You go to holisticdogtraining.events, click on that workshop, and then you scroll down, you read a little bit what's going on here. And then that cost is only $37. Literally, totally worth it. Times 10. Okay? So the next thing you want to do is you need to be aware they only have 20 seats left because it's a hands-on workshop. So people would do real-time hands-on and would be able to walk you guys through it while I'm looking exactly what you're doing at the same time. And then what we're going to do is you get your ticket. Like, you don't want to miss that. However, if you cannot make it for that Saturday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time, that workshop will be recorded. And if you sign up for that ticket, you get a copy for it. And I will continue answering your questions even the workshop is over. So you click on that link and then you add up into this appointment and you want to click this one and then accept time zone or wherever time zone you are, Asia, wherever you are. I'm in Pacific time, right? And then you set up on time zone and then you click that particular workshop that is available on Saturday. Ta-da! Easy, right? And then you press continue because it's at 3 o'clock. Duh. And here you go. Then you put your name in here, okay? Your email, and then you answer a couple of questions. So I make sure I will able to answer. And then you can pay. So you have 2 different pay options. The one is, yeah, I know, blah, 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 asking questions. One is you go through credit card or you use your PayPal account. Good. So if you are a military person or you are in my mentorship program or you're one of my clients, you want to message me before that and so you get a redeem code. Okay? So that's it. Easy, right? And do you guys have any questions so far? Yes, you're welcome to ask questions about it. So let me start for you so you guys break the ice. There you go. Ask questions here. So I'm going to walk you through the process, what we're going to talk about workshop before we go answer your questions pretty quick. So the first thing we're going to do is we try to put together exactly how aggression looks like. What are the symptoms? What it's based on? Okay, then we're going to provide your dog with a secure base from which he can compare past and current experience. Because once we recognize what it is, we will go there and start helping your dog make a good start. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to discuss how dogs learn through episodic memory. What is that, right? Episodic memory. I thought dogs, do all this weird stuff. We're going to talk about it. And how to reprogram the past experience with new experience in form of positive episodes. The next thing, we're going to help you troubleshoot, encounter, and teach your dog safety routines. Because if your dog goes into that state of mind, you need to get him out of there without using force or punishment, or using the well-known shock collar to get his attention, kind of, sort of, right? Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is how to troubleshoot. Oh, we talked about that, right? Here we go. And then how to help your dog to improve communication with you. It's important that you guys have always that communication skills up. Meanwhile, you can ask your questions, okay? And by the way, where are you guys from? If you would join the workshop, where would you join the workshop from? Then we're going to talk about how to set up a successful behavior healing session. Oops, I said the word. Because I don't correct behaviors. I want to heal behaviors at the very root, at the source of the problem. Because while other people try to correct behaviors and punish the dog, or having the consequences through positive punishment approach, we come in from an angle that we have the dog having a variety of options to select from, which one works best for your dog. And so having a behavior healing session with your dog, meaning is you are in fully control of his environment to help him navigate through this thinking process, because in the future he has to make different choices that he had made in the past. And that's when I talk about that. I also have example. So the next thing I'm going to finish talking would be how to read and reply to complex canine body language signals. I said it. Complex canine body language signals. Because many people are kind of like saying, oh yeah, my dog is wagging his tail. Okay, so wagging his tail is like me driving a car. What car do I drive? Where do I drive? What is the pavement? Okay, so if we look at the dog's body language, many people are looking at body language as a signal. Taking while wagging his tail, my dog is happy. Well, that would be one part of it, but there are many different versions of wagging tail. The location of the tail, the range of the wagging tail, how the tail is positioned on the dog's body, and then how the tail itself look like. Okay, is it a puff tail or is it kind of regular tail? What if we have a dog that doesn't have a tail and it just have a lot simple, right? And what if, let me fix that a little bit. And what if the tail is not the only thing the dog is showing you, but having the tail and body posture and leg position and ear position and head position and relationship positioning depending to the situation. All this is a completely new sentence. So we're not talking only about body languages, but also we'll talk about the sentences that those body language show you, which you have to instantly be able to reply. Right? So you see, this is quite a serious workshop, and I would love you to be joining there. So you don't want to waste your time. You want to sign up as quickly as possible, because I want you guys who are always caring and having coffee with me to be first on that list. Okay? So the reason why I have it limited to 20 people is the following. I want to have time for each individual of you to go through your process. And I would like to watch each individual interactions with your dog. And so I cannot do this with 100 people. I can do it with 20 people, okay? Because it's not just a workshop where you sit there and watch it. It's actually a workshop where you actually physically do things with your dog in real time while you're being helped, right? And then you can ask questions, and those questions will be answered. So the first hour, we're going to do the workshop, all then, and then for the next 30 minutes, we're going to answer questions. So nobody goes empty-handed. Good? So, and for $37, I still punch myself in the face. I should charge much more for that. However, times are difficult. We want to make sure that everybody gets his help his need. And of course, if you need more help than that, okay, because you have multiple dogs, because your dog is really so bad aggressive, you can't even evaluate the situation on yourself and use this support, I'm here to help you anyway. So, what's that? Oh yeah, right. Now underneath you can see again the title. So you go to my website, click on events, and then you click it from there. Now, as we speak, I'm already planning more events. So I would say check in once in a while. I'm going to keep you updates and making sure everybody is up to date. So that's over. Now let's talk about other stuff. What are you struggling this week? How about you type it? So what I'd like you to type is at least that. So I can answer your question. I would like your dog's age, sex, breed, what you need help with, and then I would like you to stay tuned here or share so I can have a conversation with you. So first come, first serve base, and I will enjoy and sit back a little bit, having my coffee. So welcome from Eugene, Oregon, and while you guys are typing, I'm going to tell you what happened yesterday. So I went to a workshop to a client yesterday, and it was very intense. Let me give you kind of like a heads up, and so you see what happened here. Let me pull it up for you because it's kind of interesting. And so I went there because the dog had serious issues, and we did an online session, but for some reason something didn't end up with me, and I needed to see that for me in person. So I did a trip up there. Good, let me finish this up for you. Be right there with you. Okay, I got this ready. Now I'm gonna switch. Hold on with me. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. There you go. So this is the fella. So for you guys who have dogs in your room right now, I would definitely reach out to headphones. You're gonna need them, otherwise your dogs go nuts. So the situation here is the person is afraid to let his dog out of the crate because the dog went after his owner for different reasons. And unfortunately, the owner had a couple of bad experiences in the past with trainers who used adverse methods and basically got the dog to be in that situation where he literally is afraid of his parent and his safe place, in that case, the crate. So we are 2 minutes in the session, and yes, some of you were like, oh, you're rewarding your dog for barking. Am I? You can always check the timeline underneath, right? Oh, you know what? I think I forgot to make the sound on for you guys. So let me fix that. Where am I? Here I am. Yep, share video. See, that's much better. Good. So this is how it started here. So what I'm doing here basically is the dog accuses me of being a threat. And you see, as my body language, I'm not having my body language towards the dog. You see also the dog doesn't have his body towards me. He would like to go out of the crate, so his position is not directed to me or away from me. What I noticed though is he has a water bowl over here, he has his food bowl over there, and as the owner walked away, his aggression was directed towards the owner. Okay? So the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm offering the dog treats and very low. So I'm not offering the treats up there, I'm trying to keep them very low. Now what happens is I basically not talk to the dog, I'm just being silent. I have a stillness going on, I'm just there not moving for a while. In my mind, I'm counting the sequence between the barks. Are they increasing or decreasing? Is the frequency of his bark changing? Is the pitch changing? Ooh, all of a sudden the dog laid down, which is much better for me. In the background, you hear his sister barking on the other side of the house. So all of a sudden the dog changes his attitude in 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Voila. 2 minutes and 26 seconds, the dog suddenly changes because I haven't done anything else that the dog suspected me to do, either to open the crate or push him or punch on the crate as this person was suggested to do. So the dog is side-eyeing me right now, and I didn't change my position at all. And the dog already 2 minutes 43 seconds actually repositioned himself in a little bit more comfortable position. Even though he's frustrated, his body starts relaxing, and I still haven't moved yet. The problem is I have to wear the mask, and then I just got pissed and take the mask off because, COVID fine, but the dog needs help. So what happened just now? The dog went to his water bowl, and then he started snacking out of his food bowl. I captured that, and I was thinking about it, but it didn't came to my really awareness at that point because he had only done it the first time, and I was just paying attention if he would do it again. Meanwhile, do you guys have any questions? Nope? Okay, let's continue then. Where am I? Here I am. So I was testing if the dog is actually resource guarding. So when I put my hand towards his bowl, I was looking forward. So he drinks water, that's the first round. And then he goes and snacks. Now, as I move my hand towards this food bowl, he triggers. But I put a treat in there. And then I put another treat in there. So we are 3 minutes and 43 seconds into the session.
Yeah, with my employees, when he seen masks, he used to go crazy on them, and then they would take it off, and he was more okay. Not this crazy, but he was a lot more okay with the mask off. Mm-hmm. But lately, he's gotten used to it. But I do think this might be the first time he's seen a mask in the house, maybe. Because yours is just like briefly on, and he's in and out. So I don't know.
So what I did now is basically desensitizing the masks by putting my mask back on.
It could just be coincidental.
So it's not really the mask, or maybe a little bit, but at least start desensitizing the mask will be a better option for him for the future, for having pet sitters or dog walkers coming in and work with the dog. So my movement triggered the dog, so I keep my movements minimal. But he takes the treats, we're good. And this is the second round, he treats himself. So once he's triggered, he gets so stressed, and then he rewards himself. And that was basically my confirmation that he's in a situation emotionally very unstable, and he comforts himself, and he tries to find whatever comfort he has. So he's really not aggressive. He's just very frustrated, and we had to work things out why he's frustrated, and we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah. He's not throwing food out the counter like he does sometimes. So we had to get the clamps because we just had the water on the clamp. We just put the food bowl on the bottom and just knock it over food, scatter it all the kitchen, and try to bury it under the blanket.
So what I'm going to try to do is have the dog check in with me if he wants more. So what I do now is I have my hand away from me and away from the crate. It's about 45 degrees angle. And so the dog wants, and you see also his front leg, he's not really feeling safe. So what I do is, if you want what I have, you want to check in with me, I'll give it to you. So again, you saw he went into his food bowl to comfort himself. And I wanted him to use me as a comfort instead of using the food as a comfort, even though I would be at the trigger. And he offers a sit, which is great. So we have a conversation going on between me and the dog at that point. The dog wants what I have. He figured out I'm not a threat to him. His body still responds once in a while, but his brain is really trying to troubleshoot the situation.
This video is just going to kill her crying on it. Yeah.
Good. Now let him check in longer. What I do now is I have him be longer connected with me. And you see, every time he gets stressed, he snacks from his food bowl. So whatever behavior he does in there, his food will be self-rewarding. So they have no range to help that dog change his behavior, because whatever he does, he just comforts himself out of the situation by using food to reward himself. So dogs who are fearful want to be in control. And in that crate, he doesn't feel in control. You feel everything is threatened around that. So now I have the feeling of feeling better in control. Once the dog goes beyond that threshold, that he feels there is no way he can control, he shuts down and starts guarding his control as much as possible. So, long story short, a couple of seconds later, I will let the dog out. What do you think is going to happen?
Put it right here.
Now, as soon as I see the dog already follows me and kind of takes instructions.
Are you comfortable with opening the gate?
The trick question. Are you comfortable with me opening the crate? And listen to the answer.
He's been out before.
Okay. He's been out before. But the reason why I'm there is because, well, he didn't do well outside.
And he's got the lead on, so I suppose it's not so bad.
And you see again, the dog is comforting himself. Every time the dog gets stressed, he comforts himself. Basically, he's stuck in that mindset. And here we go. So one thing that I see many trainers do is just smash the door in the dog's face for him not to get out. That's not what I do. So as soon as the dog went out of his crate, which is basically his trauma zone, he completely changes his attitude.
Hold on.
You want more of that? Any thoughts? Yeah, I use freeze-dried dog foods from Northwest Naturals. I like them because they're easy to dispense and they're super yummy. And I'm not going cheap on that one. That bag is basically full nutritional diet. So when you feed kind of these kind of treats, you nearly have to deduct this from his meal. Come in. Good. You see that back stance legs? So we're going to talk about more in the workshop because we're going to have that video. We're going to break it down all individual steps. So meanwhile, I saw you guys already lots of questions. So Giovanna, hi Giovanna. 4 months old Great Pyrenees is biting. 4 months. Okay. It's a puppy biting. Next, Facebook user. I don't know your name. However, dog's 11 years old Shepherd mix, 8-year-old male Rottweiler mix, and 8-year-old Pitbull mix. The Shepherd resource guards heavily, so he does not interact with the other dogs indoors where the resources are. We are eventually going to try letting the Rottie and the Pit be off lead in the yard together, like we can with the Pit and the Shepherd. The Pit killed a small dog. Ooh, number 5 or 5 years old, while running loose as a stray. The Shepherd has been bitten multiple people protecting his resources. The Rottie mix has stranger aggression. I cannot read more than that because the message is kind of downsized. This is a serious behavior, and I would definitely let me share that with you guys here. Um, it's a serious behavior, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to kind of answer the question just off the bat. I need a lot of information. We need basically to create a behavior profile for each individual dog in your home and how the dynamics are in your home. What's the history of each dog? So we're going to create a behavior profile for each dog and see what the trauma story is for each dog. Giovanna, so 4-month-old male Great Pyrenees mix biting. So first thing that I ask always people question is, how do you feel about that biting? Is something you feel scared about? You feel like your dog is viciously going after you? Or do you feel your puppy is just playing mouthing you and he's kind of having fun biting you? The other question is, how many times do you feed your dog? And what do you feed your dog? So I hope Giovanni can answer the question. Here is an extension. The Rottie makes a stranger danger, but has been exceptional with meeting dogs of all kinds, ages. I am apprehensive about the introduction between the PT mix. The parallel walk together went well, but the Pit also easily frustrated on lead, which we are working on. How would you attempt to get the Pit and the Rottie together? Yeah, as I said before, it's kind of complex situation there. We want to make sure that this is not um, um, a setup to failure. We want to have to set up for success. So we want to know as much information as possible, and having a video footage of that interactions on that walk would be great, especially because it's important when you guys work with your dogs. You need to be fully in control of what's going to happen and start being able to assess the situation. So Giovanna answered, playing but biting the boys in the playing time. Oh, he's going after the children too. Okay. I'm feeding him 3 times a day and some treats in between while learning commands. The approach is good. However, what I would like to see here is, how long does your puppy has rest time? Because what happens usually, puppies like to interact. It's in that period of time they're going through a puppy stage where everything's supposed to be safe around them and they learn to explore. We need to picture that the dogs in that stage of life, they learn how to handle their most important tool they have, which is their mouth. And the other thing that's very important is for them to understand bite inhibition and then recognizing how to handle excitement. So what I would like you to work with your kids at that point is watch how they respond when the puppy comes up to them. I don't want the kids to feel victimized by the dog, because the dog comes up and the kid's like, "Ah, mommy, he's biting me," and start pushing the dog, basically engaging the dog to do that. On the other hand, I don't want the dog to see the kids as kind of a way to outlet his play drive, especially because kids really don't have those skills, those technical skills, to be able to um, navigate around those behaviors. They barely have control of their own emotions in that case. So you are being called here to help your dog manage that. Okay, that way that answer. So I would like you to have a game going on. I would like to have each child, I don't know how many you have, and I don't know how old they are, but if they're over 5 years old, we can give them already instructions. I would give each child a treat and have them placed in different places. And the future exercise, you're not doing it yet, would be calling the dog up for a reward. And what the dog will do there in that reward, come up, he will come up and sit for a treat. And he will engage with the child. At the same time, when the child gives the dog the treat, he will be able to pet the dog while the dog gets the treat. So that would be the first goal. Before that, I would like you to start priming your dog to that exercises, which means what should the dog do when he works with you? So the first thing I'm going to do is walking backwards and use the dog's natural drive to follow you, and you offer a treat. As you walk backwards, the dog will not be able to jump, because by the time he jumps or tries to snap, you're already in a different positions. And what you do next is, as soon as your dog has his 4 legs on the floor, you deliver the treat. That's the first step. Once you have that routine in, you do a couple of times, maybe 10 times in a row. The next thing is you stop and you hold the treat, little, if that's your dog, a little bit over here, not up there and not too low, over here, and your dog wants to take it, and that hand denies access. You just do that micro movement. You're not giving a dog a treat, you just offer it. If he goes after like this, you do that turn. Usually dog's instinct, pre-programmed, hardwired, is if something turns away from your attention, it means it doesn't want to interact with you. Usually puppies who have a solid education as puppies, the puppy comes from a well-educated breeder, the dog comes from a foster home, they know already the basics. But in case you have a dog who does know the basics, it's a good thing to start with teaching him what denying access means. So the moment the dog backs away from it, you reward that. Meaning is, backing away is what I reward you. So if you want something that I have, that you want really bad, only if you give me some space, I will reward you. So that's an important step, because when the children at the future will turn their head or move their hands away, the dog should know to back away instead of attacking even further, right? So you don't want to do that when the dog is hungry. And I would encourage you for that short period of time to feed him 4 times a day, basically 3 times as you have a plan, plus the amount of food that he has to get the 4th time into dog treats. Now, when you want to make sure that we're feeding your dog healthy, you want to look for puppy formulated dog food that is for his breed. So that's, I think, should starting with. Now, when you do that first priming, you start naming things that your dog does. When your dog is following you, you call that come. When your dog sits on his own, you call that sit, right? And that package, that priming, you're going to bring to your kids, and they should do the same thing. As the dog comes, they call it come, and the dog gives a treat. Then the other child on the other side say come. So the dog will turn, because he knows coming means go where you are called for, because that's what you feel attracted to. The dog comes to the other child, and that being rewarded. So you see, all of a sudden we have a game going on. So instead of the dog start biting and mouthing, your dog learns how to do things with your kids. The dogs feel happy, and the dog feels happy, and then you make a timeout. Don't keep that exercise longer than 5 to 10 minutes, because both get tired, and because kids are not very focused at that age, you want to kind of keep it very easy. Give the dog a break, let him snack something, take him out for a walk, potty. Usually dogs get thirsty after dog training, so you want to make sure the dog has enough water to drink, and then you take him out for potty. You don't want to ruin your potty routine, and then you let the puppy rest, and once he's rested, then you can do another game. So you want to make sure the puppy rests a lot of time in growing stage, at least 20 hours a day. Yes, you heard correctly. 18 to 20 hours a day resting, not being at home checking you, resting, literally resting. It's necessary for the puppy to grow nice. So, Amy, I hope that helps. Let me know how that goes. You're welcome to private message me if you need help with that. So, hey Roman, we rescued a new puppy. He's 8 months old. I've ordered a new no pull harness. What? Why would you need the no pull harness? Okay. The chewing, destroying of beds, etc., is driving me insane. We have a bunch of chew toys, soft toys. Help. Yeah, let's help you here. First of all, what breed is your dog? So I have a better understanding. The next question is, what's the story of that dog before he came to your house? Some dogs have never been in a home. Some dogs have trauma, neglect trauma. Okay, so we want to make sure that we help the dog get himself comfortable. So how long has the dog been in your home? Okay, so he pulls horrible on the walk. Obviously the dog has never been on the leash. So a small terrier. Yep, the terriers. Yeah, that's why people mistaking. It's not a typo when people says I have a small terror. Okay, so terriers are super smart dogs, and they're hunting dogs. So you keep that in mind because the dog wants to explore. So he's 6 months. Wait, what? The answer is, how long has he been with you? Okay. You're welcome to share that video, by the way, if you want to. You don't have to. You can keep it a secret. um, so let me walk you through the process here. And for that, I'm going to show you a video. Let me prepare that for you, because you know what? You should know things. Let's teach Emma about her dog a little bit. Oh, wait, I have to sign in first for that. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. I should be better prepared next time. For some reason, I had to reboot my computer and then I forgot about it. And of course, I would love you to subscribe to my channel, and so you will be up to date when I'm posting something new. Okay, so library. Um, Good. Okay, I got this organized now. So let me find a video so I can show you a little bit about the leash training. That will be very helpful, because I want you guys to get off those bad no pull harnesses, because all they do is making your dog's life miserable on the walk. It really doesn't have to be that way. Okay, so I'm almost there. Of course, the problem with the video, it gives me the live video first, and I had the perfect video aligned there usually to show you, but now I have to search for it. I'm right there. Up, I got it. There you go. So let's start the video. We have 10 minutes left. We're gonna get this done in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Yeah, right. That's what happens. The dog will not come if he sees the leash, because he's gonna shut down. So, good. I like your questions. I'm going to answer those. So let's do the sharing part. Sharing screen and the video. Good.
Instead of creating the attraction, we call it come.
So what did I just do? So what I do is I offer him the treat so the dog knows what I'm working for, and then I move backwards.
Instead of creating the attraction, we call it come.
And then I name what the dog does, right? So I'm not telling the dog what to do. I actually start giving the dog actions a name.
What he does, not what I'm telling him, that means come. Come.
So you see also what I do is first I move, then the dog moves, then I call it out. Okay? So now the dog associates his emotional state of mind with his actions with that particular name. So if I will use the name later, I will basically trigger the dog emotional state. And if you don't believe me, I'm gonna give you a test. I'm gonna say a word, and you're gonna tell me how you feel about things. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. The word is shark. How do you feel right now? Some of you tell me, yeah, I love sharks. I'm a scientist. Okay, I'm not talking about these people. But right now, the word shark triggered with you a certain sensation. So fear, movies come into your mind. So there's an whole emotional package behind that. And for you guys who are fine with sharks but hate spiders, spider, right? I get goosebumps, right? So we see words trigger. And now what I use is the word to trigger the dog have certain emotions that are beneficial for your dog. So what I do next is,
So I'm not saying first come and then pulling to me. I want him to have the intention to come and then I call it come. Come.
and you see my leash is always loose.
Okay. So next thing is,
Now, the leash that the dog is wearing, I'm not using, is what the people use the leash. I don't tell people what to do before they actually learn more about me. But I just use a regular flat collar, and I'm not using the harness. So these people got off the harness as soon as possible. That's a no-pull harness, by the way. And if you look at my cursor right here, you see that harness basically pushes against the joints. Like, how sick is that?
let's go. Come. Let's go.
And now what I did is from come, I change it into let's go. So come have attraction to me, and once you're here with me, then we're gonna say let's go because we're going in the same direction, doing the same thing, and I will reward for that.
Come. Let's go.
You see that? That's all you have to do. So that's your homework. Start inside the house. Just a flat regular leash in your hallway. Do a couple of rounds of that. Okay? So, and then you go outside. Easy, right? So tell me how you feel about that so far. Let me stop that here. Here we go. So, Lou, lots of questions coming in here. Hold on. Give me a second. Where am I? Okay, here we are. So my Pyrenees does not like the leash at all. I can leave him off leash with busy road. He will not come. Yeah, that is complicated because obviously it could be the dog in the past may have been harsh corrected with the leash. Some people in the past or in rescue use specific harnesses and specific collars, and that can do a damage to the dog's trusting on the leash, or the dog has been on the leash attacked by another dog. We don't know yet. I would like to talk about that a little bit. What is it? He's not. Yeah, so there's definitely a fear-related behavior. So I would recommend you get in touch with me. You can welcome to message me through my website, and we're gonna work on that. So what is that here? He also will not go out the back door only. Not. Ooh. Oh, okay. So we have a lot of trauma here going on. He's 9 months old. Holy bark. Okay. Um, So you guys have definitely a trust issue here, and he's only 9 months old, and he's a Pyrenees. Thank you for those who said, bless you. So, coffee time. So, I'm going to help you desensitize the leash. Here's what you do. Start from scratch. You guys see me now? Right? I hope you see me. Okay. And we have 5 minutes left and closing. So far, how do you like those sessions that we do here, like live sessions? And how many of you would be interested to join my workshop? So you're welcome to message me if you need help with the workshop, or if you are a foster for one of those rescues that I volunteer for, let me know. You guys get a special discount code. And yeah, let's talk to you through the process of leash. Let's grab a leash. Here we go. So you grab your leash, you tie them together like this, make it small. We're gonna prime the dog. You get a couple of treats. You don't want me to show you the treats right now. Imagine I have treats in my hand and the leash. So first of all, you have your leash behind your back. Okay, don't let your dog see it. And then offer your dog the treat. And then you offer another treat. And you offer another treat. Now what you do is you start priming your dog what's happening in front of him. You offering a treat. That's what you do. Okay, the dog gets a clear message on that. The next thing you're going to do is going to show your short hand. Bacon. Bacon it is. Not really. I don't like bacon for dogs. You know, I'm a pet dog trainer as well. So I do also work with piglets. And I would never, ever feed piglets to dogs and not dogs to piglets, you know. So, treat. And then you show your hand and give him another treat. Show him the hand, you give another treat. Now you show your hand and wait for the dog to look at the hand, and then he gets another treat. Now you teach the dog, look at my hand, gives you another treat. Don't have your hand in front of your face. Have it on the side because you don't want to cheat yourself. So you want the dog to turn his hand. Good? Another treat. Another treat. Make your hand disappear, right? Now what we're going to do is, while you're in the back, unfold the leash a little bit. Let things out a little bit. So your dog, when he sees your hand moving, he expects to look at your hand. He looks at your hand, and then put your hand away from it again and give him another treat. As it, don't hold the treat like the hand like this when you have it unfolded. Good question. What if he backs off? When he backs off, meaning is you were too rush, okay? Start all over again, skip for an hour, come back to the game without a treat, use more reward treats. What I would like you to start with then, if that fails the first round, I would like you to move backwards. Without that, put it away, move backwards, let your dog come to you, and then give him a treat. What I would like you to do though, is maybe you have another type of leash that he hasn't seen before, because usually the dog associates that with a leash. So you want to change the leash. You take a rope or something else. What we want to achieve is for your dog to see basically the hook. It's all about the hook. The hook starts the event. So the hook is attached to the leash, and the leash is a conveyor to that hook. So the dog is really not fearful of the leash. He's fearful of that attaching to him. And that's what we're going to work on. Okay? So start slow. Maybe what you want to do is you want to give me a video feedback. Set up your phone on selfie mode. Have somebody hold it on selfie mode. And what I would like you to do is don't make it obvious that you go and pick up your leash. Don't go to the specific place where the leash hangs. Have the leash already at your place before your dog figures that out. Okay, so have your wife or your partner take the dog outside for pee and potty. You grab the leash, put it on the table, because sometimes the interactions, I'm going to pick up the leash, already triggers the whole event. However, I would say join the workshop. You're going to learn a lot from it. because we're going to talk about those triggers and how to desensitize them in details. Okay, so I have 1 minute left to say goodbye. I really appreciate you guys' feedback. I would love if you can share it. I would love if you give me feedback of how these exercises help you so far. And I would like to see you in the workshop. And see you next Saturday.